Hey everyone, welcome back to Future Millionaire. I'm so glad you're here with me today. No matter where you are in this amazing world of ours, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. Now, let's dive into something that's got everyone talking, XRP. And listen, I've got to address the elephant in the room right off the bat. There's this massive FUD campaign happening again. And guess what it's about? Yep, you guessed it, the escrow unlock. But here's what's driving me crazy. Look at this chart showing Ripple's escrow XRP history going all the way back to 2024. Month after month, you can see exactly how Ripple consistently locks back between 600 to 800 million XRP. It's like clockwork. Yet somehow, people still don't get how brilliantly Ripple uses this escrow strategy. Think about it. They just made another major acquisition, and I'm telling you right now, Ripple isn't slowing down. We're going to see even more strategic moves throughout what's left of 2025 and into 2026. Here's what's really exciting. Ripple is transforming into a complete one-stop financial powerhouse. We're literally watching them evolve into what could become a full-fledged bank in the very near future. This is incredible stuff. But what are people focused on? The escrow. Again, it's honestly mind-blowing to me.
Guys, I honestly don't get it. Let me break this down for you because this is absolutely crucial to understand. Every single thing that happens on the XRP ledger burns XRP. That's not my opinion. That's a straight-up fact. And hey, sorry Bitcoin maxis, but you can't argue with what's written in black and white. The white paper makes this crystal clear, and I'm going to read this to you directly. Every transaction must specify how much XRP to destroy to pay the transaction cost. Did you catch that? Destroy. Not transfer, not pay to someone else. Destroy. Here's the kicker. The transaction cost is not paid to any party. The XRP is irrevocably destroyed. This comes straight from the Ripple Protocol Consensus Algorithm documentation. Think about what this means. Every time someone uses the XRP ledger, XRP gets permanently removed from circulation. It's gone forever. This is built right into the core mechanics of how XRP works, and yet so many people completely miss this fundamental feature.
This statement applies universally to every transaction on the XRP ledger, not just XRP to XRP transfers. But wait, this is where it gets really exciting. You think the XRP burn rate is impressive now? Just wait until tokenization absolutely explodes. Picture this. Millions of people moving tokenized real estate, tokenized stocks, tokenized commodities, you name it. Every single one of those transactions is going to burn XRP. We're talking about a massive increase in network activity, which means way more XRP getting permanently destroyed with each trade. Everything valuable that moves across the XRP ledger burns those small amounts of XRP. It's like a constant organic reduction in supply happening naturally through actual utility and usage. But here's what cracks me up. People are still out there demanding that Ripple should just burn 20, 30, or even 50% of the escrow all at once. They think that's some magic button that's going to send XRP to the moon overnight. Well, let me ask you this. How did that work out for Stellar when they burned their XLM? Spoiler alert, not exactly the rocket ship everyone expected, right? The beauty of XRP's burn mechanism is that it's tied to real utility, real adoption, and real network usage. That's sustainable growth, not some one-time publicity stunt.
Critic tells Ripple's CTO what XRP is and what XRP is not.
First of all, this isn't a critic saying this.
Oh, this is absolutely priceless. So there's this guy on X, and you've got to see this, who decides he's going to pick a fight with David Schwartz himself about XRP. Can you believe it? But here's the best part. While he's trying to tear down XRP, he's simultaneously trying to pump up Chainlink. I mean, the audacity is just incredible. You've got someone arguing with one of the literal architects of the XRP ledger while shilling another project at the same time. This is exactly the kind of stuff we see all the time in crypto Twitter, isn't it? People who think they know better than the actual developers and engineers who built these systems from the ground up. But David Schwartz, of course, shut him down. Now, look, I'm not going to torture you by going through this entire article, but just think about this for a second.
Picture yourself waking up tomorrow morning, having your coffee, and then thinking to yourself, you know what? Today feels like a great day to hop on X and argue with David Schwartz about XRP. I mean, seriously. Let that sink in for a moment. How absolutely wild is that? This is like deciding you're going to debate rocket science with Elon Musk or argue about basketball strategy with LeBron James. But it gets even better.
This guy doesn't just want to argue with one of the most respected minds in crypto. Oh no, he's also trying to rally other people to join his crusade. He's out there like, hey everyone, come help me tell the co-creator of the XRP ledger why he's wrong about his own technology. The sheer confidence it takes to do something like that is honestly both impressive and completely mind-blowing at the same time.
Guys, this is absolutely mind-blowing to me. David Schwartz has been holding a blockchain patent since 1988. That's 37 years ago. And people are still out here in 2025 trying to argue with him about how blockchain technology works. The audacity is just unreal. But let me blow your mind with some facts that apparently everyone conveniently forgets. Way back in 2017, that's 8 years ago now, Ripple already had 47 banks in Japan alone. Globally, they were working with over 90 banks, including massive names like Santander, Bank of America, and Access Bank. Now here's where it gets really interesting. People are still sitting around wondering, will banks actually use XRP for instant settlement? Not messaging, not some slow GPI forwarding system, actual instant settlement. Well, guess what? Ripple literally told us the answer back in 2017. Let me read this official post to you. The consortium of 47 banks have successfully completed a pilot implementation of Ripple in Japan, enabling real-time money transfers both domestically and internationally. Did you catch that? Real-time settlement. Not messaging, not some testnet fantasy, actual settlement. And this was posted 8 years ago. Yet here we are in 2025, and you've got people like Crypto Eddie trying to convince you that Japanese banks aren't going to use Ripple or XRP. Are you kidding me? This has all been documented and verified over the years, folks. And just wait until all these banks finally come out of their testing phase on that private ledger. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
Holy cow, guys, we just hit a massive milestone that I had to share with you immediately. Ripple's RLUSD has officially crossed the $1 billion market cap across both Ethereum and the XRP ledger. I mean, think about how incredible that is. RLUSD has been on this absolutely unstoppable tear lately. The momentum has been non-stop, and honestly, I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. You know what really gets me excited? I genuinely believe we're watching history in the making here. I can't wait for the day, and I really think it's coming, when RLUSD becomes the #1 stablecoin in the entire crypto space. Just imagine that for a second. RLUSD sitting at the top, beating out USDT, USDC, all of them. With Ripple's institutional connections and the utility of the XRP ledger behind it, this could absolutely happen. The pieces are all falling into place perfectly. Holy cow, guys, we just hit a massive milestone that I had to share with you immediately. Ripple's RLUSD has officially crossed the $1 billion market cap across both Ethereum and the XRP ledger. I mean, think about how incredible that is. RLUSD has been on this absolutely unstoppable tear lately. The momentum has been non-stop, and honestly, I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. You know what really gets me excited? I genuinely believe we're watching history in the making here. I can't wait for the day, and I really think it's coming, when RLUSD becomes the #1 stablecoin in the entire crypto space. Just imagine that for a second. RLUSD sitting at the top, beating out USDT, USDC, all of them. With Ripple's institutional connections and the utility of the XRP ledger behind it, this could absolutely happen. The pieces are all falling into place perfectly.
I still believe that's going to happen. This black swan capitalist explains how XRP could reach extremely high prices, up to $10,000. Okay, this is absolutely brilliant, and I need to break this down for you because so many people completely miss this. He's talking about one of XRP's most genius features that almost nobody understands. It's divisibility. Here's the mind-blowing part. You can divide each single XRP into 1 million tiny pieces called drops. Now let me put this in perspective for you. Even if XRP hits $10,000, yeah, you heard that right, $10,000 per XRP, one little drop would still only be worth about 1 cent. Can you wrap your head around that? This is why XRP can work at literally any price level, whether we're talking 50 cents, $500, or even $50,000 per XRP. All transactions happen in these tiny drops. So you can still send micropayments for pennies or massive institutional transfers. It all works seamlessly. This completely destroys that old argument that XRP needs to stay cheap to be useful.
That's total nonsense. Actually, here's the kicker. The higher XRP's price goes, the more liquidity the entire system can support using fewer tokens. It's like having a more efficient engine. Higher prices actually make the whole network work better, not worse. It's absolutely genius when you think about it. For example, at $1 per XRP, settling $1 billion requires 1 billion XRP. At $10,000 per XRP, it requires only a 100,000 XRP. Now this is where things get absolutely insane. He starts throwing around some numbers that will absolutely blow your mind. Get ready for this. We're talking about $7 trillion that settles daily in foreign exchange markets alone. Daily. Then you've got $600 trillion in global derivatives and $150 trillion in annual cross-border payments. These numbers are so massive, they're hard to even comprehend. But here's where it gets really exciting. He says even if XRP captures just 1% of these massive markets, we're still talking about trillions of dollars in value that XRP would need to represent. Now think about this logically with me for a second. XRP has a finite supply, right? There's only so much of it that will ever exist. So if trillions of dollars need to flow through this network, the price per XRP has to rise dramatically to keep everything balanced. And I'm 100% with him on this. Once you start moving that kind of institutional money through XRP, it literally cannot stay cheap. I mean, think about it. If XRP was still trading at 50 cents when banks are trying to move billions of dollars, you'd need the entire supply just for one massive transaction. The math just doesn't work unless XRP's price rises to match the scale of what it's being asked to do. It's simple economics. But wait, there's even more to this equation that's absolutely crucial. You've also got to think about all the XRP that's getting locked up right now as we speak. We're seeing massive amounts of XRP coming out of circulation in real time. You've got companies building XRP treasuries, ETFs scooping up huge amounts, and then you have all of us regular holders who are diamond-handing our XRP because we want that sweet passive income potential. This is creating serious scarcity, folks. When you combine this growing scarcity with the massive institutional demand we just talked about, the price has to rise dramatically. There's no way around it. Think about it. If there's less XRP available in circulation, but the demand to move the world's money keeps growing, what happens? Basic supply and demand economics kicks in big time. The price shoots up because that's the only way the math works for moving trillions of dollars. This isn't speculation or hopium. This is an absolute mathematical fact. Now, here's the thing that keeps me up at night in the best way possible. Nobody knows exactly when this is all going to click into place. It could be next month, next year, or the year after, but when it happens, hold on to your hats, because it's going to be absolutely wild. Now, I know there are people out there who immediately roll their eyes when they hear $10,000 per XRP and say, that's never going to happen. And you know what? I think they're totally wrong. I absolutely believe XRP will hit $10,000, but here's the thing. I'm not some crazy moon boy saying it's happening tomorrow. This isn't going to be some overnight pump. There are specific milestones that need to happen first, and I want to be realistic about this. First up, Ripple needs to capture a real chunk of that massive derivatives market we talked about. Then they need to start eating into Swift's volume, maybe 10%, maybe 15% early on. These are the building blocks that are going to drive XRP's price higher. But here's what gets me really excited about the long-term picture. This isn't just about this year or next year. This is about every single year going forward. Why? Because the amount of value that needs to move around the world keeps growing year after year after year. Think about it. Global trade isn't shrinking, it's expanding. More countries, more businesses, more transactions, more money flowing across borders. And if XRP becomes the bridge for even a fraction of that growing volume, the price has nowhere to go but up. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and how patient we're willing to be while these pieces fall into place. But wait, we're not even done yet. Now throw tokenization into the mix and things get absolutely crazy. Here's something that's going to be absolutely massive: micropayments. And I'm talking massive. Think about billions of tiny transactions happening every single day. We're talking about payments for digital content, small online purchases, gaming transactions, the works. And guess what's going to power all of that? You got it, XRP. The sheer volume of micropayments alone is going to be mind-blowing. We're not talking about a few big transactions here and there. We're talking about potentially billions of small transactions that all need to be processed quickly and cheaply. That's exactly what XRP was designed for. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley just made what might be the boldest prediction I've heard in recent memory. This guy is claiming that every major Wall Street institution will be involved in crypto within the next year. Can you imagine that? We're talking about Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all the big players that were skeptical just a few years ago. If he's right, and these institutions start piling into crypto, the demand for utility tokens like XRP is going to go through the roof. And you know what? You can already see this institutional demand building right before our eyes. I'm totally with Hunter on this one. Every major institution is going to want a piece of this action as fast as they can get it. Now, here's what's really interesting. Right now, I think the lack of clear regulations is keeping a lot of these big institutions sitting on the sidelines, just waiting and watching. They want in, but they're playing it safe. But then you've got these other bold institutions that are like, forget waiting for regulations. We're going all in right now because we want to crush our competition. They're making their moves while everyone else is hesitating. Here's what I really believe is going to happen. Over the next year, everything in this space is going to completely transform, and most people have no clue what's coming. You know what's crazy? So many people think we're about to slip into some brutal bear market that's going to drag on for years, just like the old days. But I've got news for you. I think that traditional 4-year cycle everyone talks about is ending as we speak. The game is changing, the players are different, and the rules are being rewritten. This isn't your typical crypto cycle anymore. We're entering completely uncharted territory, and it's going to be absolutely incredible to watch. Expert says XRP will become the place people store most of their wealth. Look, I don't know exactly when all this is going to happen, but I'll tell you what I do know. I've already put my money where my mouth is. I store my wealth in XRP, and I walked away from traditional banking a long time ago. Pretty much all my money is in crypto now, and here's why that makes total sense to me. Think about it. If you're holding US dollars, you're literally watching your wealth get smaller every single day as inflation eats away at it. You're never going to get rich through a traditional bank account. Let's just be honest about that. This is exactly why I see crypto as the opportunity for anyone working that 9-to-5 grind who wants to actually build real wealth. I'm talking life-changing money here, people. Picture this. You start putting in just $20 a week after week, and then one day you walk away with $100,000. Maybe it's $500,000. Maybe it's $1 million. Crypto has the power to make that happen in a way that nothing else can right now. That's why I'm so passionate about this space. It's literally our future. We're living through the 4th industrial revolution right now, and most people don't even realize it. And wait until AI really takes off. Here's something I keep hammering home in my videos because it's so important. We're holding robot money. When AI and robots start handling transactions, they're not going to be using cash or writing checks. They're going to be transacting in crypto. That's what you're holding when you have XRP. You're holding the currency of the future. Black Swan capitalist XRP versus Solana isn't even a debate. Oh my gosh, I honestly can't believe this ridiculous debate is still happening. Every single day, I see the Solana community and the XRP community going at each other's throats on social media. It's exhausting. But here's the thing. This guy absolutely nails it when he says XRP versus Solana isn't even a real debate. And you know what? He's 100% right. Listen, XRP was specifically built from the ground up for institutional liquidity. We're talking banks, financial institutions, massive money transfers. Solana? It was designed for retail applications, gaming, NFTs, consumer stuff. They're not even playing in the same league. It's like comparing a Formula 1 race car to a pickup truck and arguing about which one's better. They're built for completely different purposes. Now don't get me wrong, Solana has its place. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Network congestion. How many times has Solana just completely shut down? It's honestly embarrassing. When you're trying to build the future of finance, you can't have your network going offline every few months. But here's the real kicker. Solana was never chosen to be part of the new financial system that's being built right now. Will it still be around? Probably. But will it be as relevant as it is today when institutions are running the show? I seriously doubt it. The writing's on the wall, people. Okay, I just saw this incredible post from Whale Guru that I had to share with you because it's absolutely mind-blowing. He's saying the bull market actually ended back in January 2025. Think about that for a second. We've been in a bear market for 10 to 11 months now. Every little bounce we've seen since then? Just traps to shake out weak hands. He says liquidity has basically vanished. Retail investors have disappeared, and only the truly patient holders have survived this brutal period. But here's the kicker. He believes this is the final capitulation, the absolute end of the old cycle. And get this, he thinks December 2025 is going to mark the beginning of the next massive cycle, a completely new era of wealth creation. His exact words are, "If you survive this bear market, you're about to make generational wealth." And you know what? I'm totally with him on this. I absolutely think we've been in a bear market, which makes what's happening with XRP even more incredible. Think about this. XRP is still sitting above $2 right now, even in this bear market. To me, that just proves XRP is simply correcting and positioning itself for what's coming with this pro-crypto administration. But here's what really gets me excited. I don't think XRP has moved at all during the traditional alt season yet. In other words, alt season hasn't even started, and XRP is already above $2. So if we're still in a bear market and XRP is holding these levels, where do you think it's going to go when the real bull run kicks in? This is going to be absolutely insane.
But here's what really has me on the edge of my seat. I genuinely believe we're standing right on the verge of massive institutional adoption. I'm talking about a complete game changer here. Listen to me carefully. When those regulations finally get approved in the United States, when they actually get passed into law, we are going to see an absolute flood of institutions pouring into this space. It's going to be like opening the floodgates. All these major players have been sitting on the sidelines, just waiting for regulatory clarity. The moment they get that green light, it's going to be absolutely wild. And speaking of regulations, check this out. The EU just announced plans to give a single regulator control over all crypto exchanges. This is huge. Instead of having different rules in every country, they're creating one unified system. This is exactly the kind of regulatory clarity that institutions have been begging for. When you have clear, consistent rules across entire regions, that's when the big money feels comfortable making their moves. We're literally watching the infrastructure for mass adoption being built right before our eyes. The pieces are all falling into place perfectly. So here's what's happening in Europe that you absolutely need to know about. The European Union is completely transforming how cryptocurrency exchanges are supervised across all 27 member countries. They're handing all that power over to ESMA. That's the European Securities and Markets Authority. And let me tell you something right now. Some exchanges are definitely going to get eliminated from the EU. And I think it's going to happen way sooner than people expect. This is exactly why I keep hammering this point home. Get your crypto off the exchanges. I can't stress this enough. Here's what you need to watch out for. Any exchange that doesn't do proper KYC, that's Know Your Customer, or AML, anti-money laundering, those exchanges are going to disappear in the short term. And when I say disappear, I mean they're going to fold up like a house of cards overnight. A lot of people are going to lose their crypto, and it's going to be devastating. Now, the legitimate exchanges like Coinbase, Uphold, LCX, these guys are going to be just fine because they're already playing by the rules. But if you're using an exchange that's bragging about not doing KYC or AML, you need to get your crypto off there immediately. I'm serious, there's a real chance you could lose everything. And here's the scary part, it's going to happen without any warning. You're literally going to wake up one morning and find out that these exchanges have just vanished overnight. It's going to be that fast. But listen, we're XRP investors, and I'm telling you right now, once this breakout finally begins, you want to be holding XRP in your own wallet, not sitting on some sketchy exchange. Until that happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next one.